Hi there, it's Barb and Jack Moose. And if Barb and Jack Moose are here, it must be time for the Jack Moose sessions. So welcome everyone. I hope you brought your best singing voices, your best clapping hands, your best stomping feet, because I'm going to play some songs that I think you will enjoy and know. We're going to start off with one from colonial America, and it talks about something called macaroni. And a macaroni back in those days wasn't a pasta, it was a hairdo, a very fancy foppish hairdo in men. Yankee Doodle went to town a-riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy, mind the music and the step and with the girls be handy. Father and I went down to camp along with Captain Pudding. There we saw the men and boys as thick as hasty pudding. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy, mind the music and the step and with the girls be handy. There was General Washington upon a strapping stallion, giving orders to his men, I guess there was a million. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy, mind the music and the step and with the girls be handy. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy, mind the music and the step and with the girls be handy. Yankee Doodle, and don't be wearing those macaroni hairstyles, because I usually don't make fun of people to their faces, or I try not to behind their backs, but I would make fun of you if you wore that, okay? Let's grab the guitar. We're going to do a couple that will take me back to Harriet Ray's music class again, because I know these were in some of the books there. They are, this first one is from 1888, and I remember doing it, and I liked it because it was an old song that was funny. It's called Drill Ye Terriers Drill. And the Terriers were the ones that did all the heavy blasting work, and it was kind of a dangerous job as they were putting in the railway, but they had songs that they would sing, much like the seafaring folk, that they would keep a rhythm to them. And sometimes they would be funny, like this one. Every morning about 7 o'clock, there were 20 terriers working on the rock. The boss comes along and he says, keep still and come down heavy on the cast iron drill. And drill ye terriers drill, drill ye terriers drill, for it's work all day for the sugar in your tay down behind the railway. And drill ye terriers drill, and blast and fire. Our boss was a fine man to the ground, but he married a lady 6 feet round. She baked good bread and she baked it well, but she baked it hard as the holes in hell. Drill ye terriers drill, drill ye terriers drill, for it's work all day for the sugar in your tay down behind the railway. And drill ye terriers drill, and blast and fire. Our new foreman was Jim McCann. By God, he was a damn mean man. Last week a premature blast went off. A mile in the sky went Big Jim Goff. And drill ye terriers drill, drill ye terriers drill, for it's work all day for the sugar in your tay down behind the railway. And drill ye terriers drill, and blast and fire. Well, the next time payday came around, $1 short Jim Goff was found. When he asked what for, came this reply: you're docked for the time you were up in the sky. And drill ye terriers drill, drill ye terriers drill, for it's work all day for the sugar in your tay down behind the railway. And drill ye terriers drill, and blast and fire. Well, every morning about 7 o'clock, there were 20 terriers working on the rock. The boss comes along and he says, keep still, Come down heavy on the cast iron drill and drill ye terriers drill. Drill ye terriers drill, for it's work all day for the sugar in your teddy down behind the railway. And drill ye terriers drill, and blast and fire and drill and blast and fire. That would have been a very hard job being a terrier. Has nothing to do with dogs. Speaking of dogs, there's Jack Moose. All right, our next tune I also remember, I'm pretty sure from Mrs. Ray's music class, but mainly I remember it in my own little mind, and I'll see if Gail and some of the others remember it from Girl Scout camp. I remember in Maryville, we would have a summer where we would have 1 week, if we were in Girl Scouts, we could go out to a camp that seemed like it was way out in the country, but I'm pretty sure it was just outside the city limits at that time. And we'd go out there during the day and come home late afternoon. But one night we got to stay out all night, and that was something we all looked forward to, because they had tents, and sometimes the older girls from high school were our bosses in the tents, the older Girl Scouts, and Marcia Ingram was a great boss in our tent. And I remember one particular summer, I don't recall how old I was, but in my mind, again, we went out and we cut up vegetables to cook over the fire for evening meal, and did that, and I cut my finger. I remember that. I cut my finger on a potato peeler, and then we sang this song around the campfire. And I particularly remember it for a certain thing that happened at that Girl Scout camp to one of my friends. And I'll tell you about that when the song's through. From this valley they say you are going. We will miss your bright eyes and sweet smile, for they say you are taking the sunshine, which has brightened our lives for a while. Come and sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu, but remember the Red River Valley and the girl who has loved you so true. Won't you think of this valley you're leaving? Oh, how lonely and sad it will be. Just think of the fond heart you're breaking and the grief you are causing to me. Come and sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu. Just remember the Red River Valley and the girl who has loved you so true. They will bury me where I have wandered, near the hills where the daffodils grow. When you're gone from this Red River Valley, for I can't live without you, I know. Come and sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu. Just remember the Red River Valley and the girl who has loved you so true. I'm not sure why I recall that they played that around the campfire, but it has only 3 chords, so I'm pretty sure it was because it was easy to play. And it's an old song. And I recall that as being the year that we all had to bring our flashlights because we were staying out overnight, and the only restroom available to us was an outhouse that it seemed like it was a long way off, but it was really just a few yards down into the very front of the woods. And we had to have our flashlights in case we had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And I remember a friend of mine whose last name I will hide, but her first name was Cindy. And she brought her dad's brand new flashlight. I'm pretty sure it probably cost all of $2.98 back in those days, but it was pretty special because flashlights were a big deal. Every house had to have them. So she had her dad's flashlight. She had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and she went down to the outhouse. And she set the flashlight while it was on the little ledge there by the seat, and it rolled into the outhouse base. That's all I want to say that it rolled into. But she did what any Girl Scout would do. She came up and got the rest of us to go down and look and see what a cool thing it was, because the flashlight was still on and shining. So we talked about this a little bit at our 50th class reunion a few years ago, and as Cindy recalled it, her dad was pretty upset with her for not bringing that flashlight home, but I think he had no reason to be upset. I think a Girl Scout is very resourceful about things, but there was no way to get that thing out of there. So maybe it's still there. Maybe I should go back and try and find it. So this one's for you, Cindy, and all the Girl Scouts in Maryville, Missouri. Let's do a tune that is Irish in nature. This is one that maybe it's about coronavirus. I don't know, because right now we're all alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone, as she wheeled her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. She was a fishmonger, and sure 'twas no wonder, for so were her father and mother before, and they both wheeled their barrows through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. She died of a fever, and no one could save her, and that was the end of sweet Molly Malone. Now her ghost wheels her barrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Molly Malone, also known as In Dublin's Fair City. I'm putting the guitar away because I'm getting out another odd instrument. I haven't used these before. And these are called bones. They're made out of wood. And they're called bones because originally, see the curve on them? I don't know if you can see that. But originally, the bones were made from cattle ribs that people would find out and about places. And there is some debate about where these originated. I know that they're used in Ireland quite a bit. They were used in southern United States, or probably used in Africa. But they have a really nice rhythm. You hold them so that the curves are opposite each other. And you grasp them like this, and see how they're curved? Okay, and you kind of hold this one with your finger here so it can't move like this, and then the other one just kind of swings. Swings like a pendulum. These are made out of ironwood. A friend of mine, Jim Lee, made these for me, surprised me with them. And they just have a nice mellow sound. These are made out of ebony. They're a little bit longer. I bought these, and they have a what I call a little bit sharper sound, a little bit higher pitched sound. And the first person I ever saw play the bones was Bonnie Rideout. She's a fiddler, and I went down to interview her in El Dorado Springs, Kansas, for when I had the radio show. And she and I kind of hit it off, and we ended up spending a lot of time just sitting around talking. But one of the things she did in her performance was play 2 sets of bones at once. And I thought, wow, wouldn't that be cool to be able to do that? Little did I know that she inspired me to do this. So this is for you, Bonnie Rideout. I'm going to do a tune. The lyrics are anonymous. The music is by a fellow named Ethan Miller. And the original lyrics were written by a factory worker in Lewiston, Maine. And sometime between 1830, they think, and 1850, like many such pieces, a lot of the times this was just written as a poem with no specific tune. But Lewiston, Maine was an interesting place because they used a lot of girls there. It was a weaving factory. And they had, I'm using these because it may sound kind of like the loom and the weavers. When I was in the group called the Wee Brazen Hussies, my bandmate and I played at a place here in Lincoln. And after we did this song, at the end of our gig, a lady came up and said that her grandfather had been a factory foreman at a factory in Lewiston, Maine, at a mill. And she remembers him telling her that every morning when he got up, he would look across the river into Canada, and the ladies in Canada would come across to work at the mill because it was a pretty good job back then, and they would all be wearing black, and she remembers his telling her that they looked like little ants coming to work. So this is called the Lewiston Factory Girl. And again, it's a working song that is kind of humorous. And I'm going to use these. We'll hope it doesn't drown out the voice. I'm not sure where I'm going to... I'll use them on the chorus only. Are you ready? Come all you Lewiston factory girls, I want you to understand. I'm gonna leave this factory and marry a wealthy man. Sing dum da wickety dum da way, sing dum da wickety dum da way. No more will I take my shaker and shawl and hurry to the mill. No more will I work so pesky hard to earn a dollar bill. Sing dum da wickety dum da way, sing dum da wickety dum da way. No more will I take my towel and soap and go to the sink to wash. No more will the overseer say, you're making a terrible splosh. Sing dum da wickety dum da way, sing dum da wickety dum da way. No more will I take my comb and go to the glass to comb my hair. No more will the overseer say, what are you doing there? Sing dum da wickety dum da way, sing dum da wickety dum da way. No more will I take my bobbins out, no more will I put them in. No more will the overseer say, you're weaving your cloth too thin. Sing dum da wickety dum da way, sing dum da wickety dum da way. No more will I eat cold pudding, no more will I eat hard bread. No more will I eat these half-baked beans, I swear they're killing me dead. Sing dum da wickety dum da way, sing dum da wickety dum da way. I'm going back to Canada, to the north where the rivers meet. I'm gonna invite these factory girls to come to my house to eat. Sing dum da wickety dum da way, sing dum da wickety dum da way, sing dum da wickety dum da way, sing dum da wickety dum da way. The Lewiston Factory Girl, played on the bones. That brings us to an end of this week's Jack Moose Sessions. This is number 8. We're just going to keep doing these, and we hope you are all being safe. If you'll notice, my hair looks a little shorter. I didn't go to have it cut professionally. I cut it myself. And it's not too bad, actually. I had Don take a look at it, and I know that he is truthful with me when he tells me, gee, Merry Christmas, that looks awful. But he said, you know, it looks pretty good. So I'm going to try giving myself a perm this weekend. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, we hope you try something new and exciting and safe. And Jack Moose, would you like a cookie? Jack, you would? All right. See how he eats his food? He's very lazy. So we hope you join us next week and have fun this week and do something nice for someone else and do something nice for yourself too. Bye.